Number 1. Wales. Parading a horse skull. The Mari Lwyd is a wassailing folk custom found in South Wales. The tradition entails the use of an eponymous hobby horse which is made from a horse's skull mounted on a pole and carried by an individual hidden under a sackcloth. It represents a regional variation of a hooded animal tradition that appears in various forms throughout Britain. The custom was first recorded in 1800, with subsequent accounts of it being produced into the early 20th century. According to these, the Mari Lwyd was a tradition performed at Christmas time by groups of men. They would form into teams to accompany the horse on its travels around the local area. And although the makeup of such groups varied, they typically included an individual to carry the horse, a leader, and individuals dressed as stock characters such as Punch and Judy. The team would carry the Mari Lwyd to local houses, where they would request entry through the medium of song. The householders would be expected to deny them entry, again through song, and the two sides would continue their responses to one another in this manner. If the householders eventually relented, then the team would be permitted entry and given food and drink. Number 2. Guatemala. Burning devils. Burning the devil, La Quema del Diablo, is a tradition held every December 7th at 6 o'clock in the evening sharp. Families build bonfires outside the homes and burn effigy of Satan. It is a tradition that many Guatemalans take part as a way to cleanse the home from devils that lurk in the home, creeping behind the furniture or hiding under the bed. The Quema del Diablo can be traced to colonial time, a tradition that started since the 18th century. Held on the eve of the Feast of the Immaculate Conception and as a prelude to holiday season. Those who could afford it adorned the fronts of the houses with lanterns, but for those who have lesser means began bonfires of the garbage to celebrate the occasion. A symbolical tradition that the fire which burns the devil serves as purifying element. As the Virgin Mary was the blessed one to conceive, baby Jesus must be free from any form of evil, therefore the event served as burning the devil, to clear the way for Mary's feast. Number 3. Sweden. Burning goat. Every year, villagers in the small Swedish town of Gavle build a 40-foot straw goat as part of a Yuletime tradition. But, pretty much every year since the tradition began in 1966, locals have succeeded in destroying it, either by burning it down, hitting it by cars, or almost stealing it with a helicopter. Burning goat is a traditional Christmas display erected annually at Slottsstiche in central Gavle, Sweden. It is a giant version of a traditional Swedish Yule goat figure made of straw. It is erected each year at the beginning of Advent over a period of 2 days by local community groups, and has become famous for being destroyed in arson attacks during December. Despite security measures and the nearby presence of a fire station, the goat has been burned to the ground most years since its first appearance in 1966. As of December 2016, the goat has been damaged 37 times. Number 4. Norway. Hide your brooms. Norwegians must put away the brooms on Christmas Eve. Legend has it that evil witches may come and steal them away if they are left out. For the superstitious, all the brooms in the house are hidden. Norwegians long ago believed that witches and mischievous spirits come out on Christmas Eve and would steal the brooms for riding. Number 5. Iceland. Fear the Yule Cat. Children who don't receive new clothes by Christmas Eve will be devoured by a mythical monster from Icelandic folklore known as the Yule Cat. What is a Yule Cat? It's a large and angry feline rumored to lurk in the snow. The strange tradition comes from farmers who use the myth as an incentive for their workers to finish processing the autumn wool before Christmas. The ones who took part in the work would be rewarded with new clothes, but those who did not would get nothing and thus would be preyed upon by the monstrous cat. Number 6. Ukraine. Spider webs in the Christmas trees. If you find yourself in Ukraine around the holidays, you may be wondering, is it Christmas or Halloween? Trees here are decorated with artificial spider webs and decorative spiders. The unusual tradition is a nod to a tale where a mythical spider wove a web around the plane tree of a poor family. When morning came, the white strands turned to precious metals and the family was rich. The webs today symbolize prosperity for the next year. Number 7. Italy. Don't fear the Christmas witch. Italians aren't looking for a jolly old man in a red suit on Christmas Eve. Instead, they look out for Befana, a friendly witch that brings toys and candy to all good children. Befana is an old woman who delivers gifts to children throughout Italy on Epiphany Eve, the night of January 5th, in a similar way to St. Nicholas or Santa Claus. In popular folklore, Befana visits all the children of Italy on the eve of the Feast of the Epiphany to fill their shoes with candy and presents if they're good, or a lump of coal or dark candy if they're bad. In many poorer parts of Italy, and in particular rural Sicily, a stick in a stocking was placed instead of coal. Being a good housekeeper, many say she will sweep the floor before she leaves. To some, the sweeping meant the sweeping away of the problems of the year. The child's family typically leaves a small glass of wine and a plate with a few morsels of food, are often regional or local, for the Befana. She is usually portrayed as a hag riding a broomstick through the air wearing a black shawl and is covered in soot because she enters the children's houses through the chimney. She is often smiling and carries a bag or hamper filled with candy, gifts, or both. She is also referred to as the Christmas witch. Number 8. Germany. Krampus. Krampus is a horned, anthropomorphic folklore figure described as half-goat, half-demon, who, during the Christmas season, punishes children who have misbehaved, in contrast with St. Nicholas, who rewards the well-behaved with gifts. Krampus is one of the companions of St. Nicholas in regions including Austria, Bavaria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovenia and northern Italy. The origin of the figure is unclear. Some folklorists and anthropologists have postulated a pre-Christian origin for the figure. In traditional parades and in such events as the Krampuslauf English Krampus Run, young men dressed as Krampus participate. Such events occur annually in most Alpine towns. Krampus is featured on holiday greeting cards called Krampuskarten.